Your Excellency, Mr. Nyamiti Charles, the Director for Human Resources and Administration, Your Excellency, Mr. Razalo Laurent Kiguja, the School Manager of Cambridgeshire Pre and Primary School. When we refer to that, we mean at Kigoma. And Your Excellency, the Mr. Benedicto Runyagila, the School Manager for Cambridgeshire Regis at Geita. Your Excellencies, Deputy Head Teachers and Academic Head Teachers, leaders, and all other invited guests, good morning. Yes. How are you? It is a very good moment that we have today, and that it has necessitated us to meet for this very great event, which we call it KAGAK. We may call it KAGAK or the Cambridgeshire. This is the third Cambridgeshire Annual General Administrative Conference to be held today, as it has been explained earlier by the DHR, that it may take us 3 days, but we know the event ahead of us and nationwide. However, I'm so grateful to see you. I'm so honored to stand before you this morning. Let me use this moment to welcome you in this venue. You're most welcome. It gives me great joy and pride to stand before you today as we gather for this year's annual conference of school administrators. As I have said before, this occasion brings together some of the most passionate and dedicated minds in education. And I am referring to all of us who are here. And it is the honor that this institution has been blessed, having you, people with different minds, experience, and different education background, and that we have been brought together. Now we are sailing in one boat. We are doing the same thing, and that we are, because of using of our talents which we have, that's why we are here. That's why we are here today. Had it been not so, perhaps we would have met for a short period of moment, then Cambridgeshire would have disintegrated. But today, Cambridgeshire Academy is alive because of you. Can't we congratulate ourselves by at least a single clap? This I'm referring to the men and women who make our school places of growth, discovery, and transformation. As a school owner, I am deeply aware that the strength of any school lies not in its buildings or facilities, but in its leadership. In the people who guide, nurture, and inspire both teachers and pupils every single day. And that is exactly what each of you does. You are the heartbeat of our institutions, ensuring that vision becomes the action, and that every child entrusted to us receives the best possible foundation for life. As I say that, we form a very good nuclear, a very strong nuclear for our school to excel and to exist. You may not be aware of this by yourself, but actually your presence records a very unique history. The world will remember us, will remember you. But this generation, the young ones, we are saving them. I'm not sure if they forget us. Whatever we do, whatever we speak, whatever we take when we are handling them, when we are taking care of them, when we are teaching them, whatever we guide them, it remains as a mark in their heart, in their brain, in whatever way. So see this moment to be a very unique moment, and it won't be forgotten. It won't be forgotten. So when I say we are the heartbeat, it is true that we are the heartbeat. And you know, the body without the heart, the body cannot do nothing. So we call it the heartbeat because if you keep, as you keep the rhythm of the blood, I mean the heartbeat, as the heart is working, means our rhythmic beating as they are going up and on, it shows that there is life in the institution. There is success, there is transformation. What is supposed to be done is happening. So you might be tired, you might be busy in some times back, but also though this is going to be a busy meeting sometimes, but also take it as a refreshment. But also it's a time to ponder on various issues and see how far have we done in contributing what we see today happening. This conference gives us an important opportunity to reflect on our progress, rethink our strategies, and renew our commitment to excellence. So we've come here, as I've said, we want to reflect on our progress. We're going to receive different reports, I know, which I believe they have covered wide areas, and which will help us to keep record and also to remind us in different areas. But also through those reports, we are going to measure our successes, our challenges, or the good or the bad things that we have encountered. But also it will give us time to rethink our strategies. That if we've been using some methodologies and we had some strategies, are they effective, efficient? To what extent have they helped us to meet the school goals? Still, this meeting perhaps will renew our commitment and take us to the best performance, best level we can expect. So you see how this important meeting is. And you'll see we have invited many participants. If you can see, almost everyone who's holding a particular department or position which receives direct school resources has been invited here. Be it human resources, material resources, financial resources, has been invited here. Just for one sake, to avoid receiving a report what was spoken in the meeting. Someone may have forgotten everything. He only remains with a few things, then which you would be able to communicate. But those of you who participate directly in different school programs have been invited here so that you get this information, primary information. So when you go to implement, you implement something which you are aware. That's why you can see we have gone beyond in inviting. Actually, otherwise we would have invited some leaders at a certain rank. But we said, let us involve many. Though it is costly, but for the sake of improvement, we have decided to bear the cost. So if you are here, take this is a great opportunity for you, but also a great honor. Not only that, what is supposed to be scenery at the end is the best performance, is improvement of our institution. The world of education is changing rapidly. New technologies, new teaching approaches, and new learners' needs are emerging every day. As private school administrators, we must lead from the front, adapting, innovating, and setting new standards of quality and integrity. We are in the world where the needs for education are changing. We need to transform people, to equip, to enable them, so that when they live here, when they go there, our image as Cambridgeshire must be seen. We have gathered here, we speak, we tell each other, we pose out challenges, we do whatever, but for the sake of improving and putting a strong foundations which will give us actual performance, actual results, but aimed at building a strong learner, a candidate who is well prepared, someone who, when he's tested, can reflect the reality of the system of education he went through. This is what brings us here. So we have a lot to do. It's not the issue of being here, then we pass time, we lead the agendas, and then you go. We may discuss a few things, but very crucial, and which will take us direct to the point, which will give us what we want. Welcoming you and preparing you to share what you have. Let us use this time to share our experiences openly, our successes, our challenges, and our dreams for the future. Let it be a space where we encourage one another, learn from one another as well, and strengthen the bond that unites us as leaders in private education. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to each of you for your tireless work, your commitment to excellence, and your unwavering passion for education. Because of you, our schools continue to shine, and our learners continue to grow in knowledge, character, and confidence. I believe our discussion, whatever we are going to do today, will continue adding value to the learners we have, to these institutions. So, like I've said before, I personally appreciate, I thank you very much, and it has been my culture to pray for each of you, for you to have good health and to be privileged with any kind of provision from him. This is my prayers. And we don't have anyone except you and those who are not here. As we begin this conference, I encourage all of us to engage actively, listen thoughtfully and carefully, and live inspired to take our institutions to even greater heights. I think I have made upon this call from my opening remarks, from the very beginning of my opening remarks, and I still continuing to call upon your cooperation. That let us bring things at this round table. There are a lot of issues which we need to talk about, but there are a lot of things which we need to bring them to a common understanding. There are a lot of issues which we need to discuss. There are a lot of challenges which we receive from our clients, and this is the highest meeting. This is the highest board of organization which can receive, digest, come up with the solutions. But as leaders, when you leave here, we supervise the implementation of what we are going to discuss here. Because, as I said before, that the success of an institution cannot be measured in terms of buildings, in terms of other facilities, except it's the leadership. We are the leaders. We are the people who are chosen by God to be at Cambridgeshire today. I may not be here tomorrow, you may not be here tomorrow, but so long today we are here. Let us believe that we are the chosen ones, and we have been entrusted with a great task to ensure that this institution remains the unbeaten, the best, the strongest. But also it is our time to start thinking. Should we think of quality instead of quantity? Or should we rely on quantity and ignoring quality? When we think of enrollment of children, where should we invest in? Should we pause on quantity or we pause on quality? And how should we balance both quantity and quality if both are all needed? These are the questions we are going to answer, and we are supposed to tackle as we are going to discuss. Because as you know, in our country, there are many schools, we say, are mushrooming. Every day, new schools are registered. Every day, new institutions are formed. Every day, daycare centers, primary schools, secondary schools. A question in the next after next year, our decision. Of course, we've been going on with that a slogan. At Cambridgeshire, Kigoma, we have a reasonable number of children, but not the same in Katoro at Cambridgeshire Regis. At Cambridgeshire Regis, we are still looking for new and enough customers. At Cambridgeshire, Kigoma, we have a reasonable number. Maybe we need to maintain. So we are here to think, should we keep increasing? And we keep building dormitories every year, building classrooms every year, thinking of buying school buses every year, because we don't have the limit of enrollment. And we keep suffering of thinking, solving problems related to transport, problem related to debt, problem related to whatever, congestion perhaps everywhere, some such things. It is our time to think quantity against quality. It is the time to decide where exactly should be our limit, or we should keep moving on. Since we started, our institution has been struggling with recruiting new staff, because we had growing classes every year. Thank God that after we have reached the standard 7, at least the speed is reduced. But sometimes we may be attempted to go to 3 streams, to 4 streams. It's only a decision of thinking down. we evaluate the real situation that is present and decide which is the best thing we can go with. If we decide that, let us open the room, but also we have to ask ourselves, if we put a limit, do we have insured customers that they will be coming and fill the limit we want, or others are quitting? We see the rate of mobility, those who leave our institution and those who come in. That's why we called out people to come with reports. It was also to measure different angles, including mobility. That those who leave and those who come in, does the number relate? Does it correlate? Or maybe perhaps the more we enroll, also the more we lose. And if we are losing, what are the factors? If we set a certain limit because we want to see quality, shall we survive in case the mobility the rate of mobility is high? So all these are the key issues which we need to look at. But perhaps with a given number in each class, we can be able to serve them. We can also be able to screen properly the pupils, because of wanting to recruit more without any restrictions. We have been receiving even the weakest pupils, and now we are again attempted to go to what we call it transfer, Cambridgeshire internal transfer program, which is as a result of based on quantity rather than in quality. Because even someone performs poorly, you say, bring him, we'll transform him. When it goes far, we realize that there is something. So we have come with that internal transfer program. But even those who receive, last time I went there, they had their concern. They had a great concern. They are speaking from their heart. The way they assess the systems. But they had no way, because it was a decision internal. So far, because we are here as readers, all these are the things I would like we discuss, we look at, and then we come up with the concrete decisions, knowing that whatever thing we decide, the implementation, it is in our duty. But also we are to maintain the, because we want to, if we are to maintain the quality, we don't want to go to reduce the workers, because already we have people. Where and how where should we take them, and how do we tell them that now we want to maintain quality, so you are useless here? So we think our quality, if it is to be maintained, it still has to accommodate the number of people we have today. If they will be, if people be going, it is on their own decision and on their own plans from time to time. This is what actually we are here for. We are here to think for academic improvement. We are here to think for how can we help the school avoid unnecessary burdens from time to time. Because when you think of construction, building new structures, that is cost. If we don't have a good culture and a good systems of maintaining the customers you have, I actually expect quality to be low. And actually, all institutions who dared to keep thinking of quantity only, go and examine their quality. Their quality must be questionable. And as we are going now, where the parents have to choose, they have to analyze, they have to think, they have to do what. This time people are measuring in different. They check the quality. There are those that want quality of food, the quality of transport, whatever. All those. That's why most of our customers sometimes they may decide to leave because the way they expect us, we handle the children. The way they expect us, we save their children. They find different because sometimes we are overwhelmed to that extent. It is due time for us, as we have seated here as readers, together with all other issues which I've talked about. If there are misunderstandings among ourselves, if there are misconceptions, if there are areas where we fail to walk in one direction, in a common, this meeting aims at solving and bringing solutions. If there are challenges which we are facing, this meeting will provide solutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our agendas which will guide us. But I was trying at least to give you a tip, because some of the issues may not be seen there, but at least you have a big picture of where do we want to go. It's like we want to evaluate ourselves. We want to examine our strategies. We want to do a lot of things which we can see how we can improve. And if we think of quality, like I've said, because right now, if you call parents, you tell them that we want to raise school fees, they may stone us. Because there are a lot of areas where they have complaints. We haven't answered some of the areas yet. So telling them that we want to raise school fees is the challenge. But in actual sense, with the school fees which we receive currently, it has failed completely to meet the demands of the institutions. Currently, it has failed completely to solve most of the challenges of these institutions. Leaving this institution with high debts, insufficient fund from time to time. We were right, the other figure which we came up at first. Though the pressure was big, but still the major issue is quality. You know, the quality service you provide will empower you to speak something. The quality service you give will energize you to say something. If people see in terms of transport, you are smart, no problem. You see, if people see in class, no problem. If people see food, no problem. If people see everywhere, there is no problem. They won't hesitate to comply to your proposal. But if there are problems and you tell them that you want to raise because you want to solve the problems, and you did it several times in the past and still you did not manage, sometimes it will be very difficult. But at the same time, expectations of workers. Workers have expectations of salary increment. If that is the case, if only current situation, current school fees that cannot, is failing, and we cannot wait to be told in some aspects. It is seen in terms of our service. At Katoro, they have a demand of the school bus whereby they propose a coaster. And this has been a crisis since we started the institution. But the facilities we have there, the highs, means if our school fees had solved the challenges, we could be seeing coasters in Atikatoro rotating and roaming in the street. Today we witness highs are carrying children. This is an evidence that our school fee has not managed to solve the problems. Although I know that there's one institution which is also forced to learn another institution. I know that challenge. That perhaps when we struggle much, the two of them to grow and stand on their own, still that each can use its own budget to save and to solve its challenges. It can help, yes, but still the school requirements are too much. Every day, every morning, you use a lot of money to to address issues and challenges. So it is vividly that the price we charge now, actually it is not sufficient enough to facilitate the programs of this school. Because for us, as the institution which want to do better, we have a lot of things, and most of them, they require money. For example, think of this meeting. Its budget is approaching to 3 million. Can you imagine? And that 3 million, it is not, we are trying to ignore that we only consider those who come from far, the ones we pay this accommodation based on the CAM. What if we could say now, let us even give at least the sitting allowance? It could go beyond that. You see? And that 3 million, or that's almost 3 million budget, after we have decided to pay half per diem, based on our CAM guide. If we would have paid the full, it would go to 4. So you can see how much the institutions is carrying a burden, and there are things which we cannot avoid. We have expanded. Now we have another wing. There is no way that you may meet and discuss issues which will bring you together. There's no way. You must meet and discuss. I have just given you this example. There are a lot, which they need spending of money. So far, as I was talking, that maybe if we think of quality against quantity, I don't mean that we reduce our classes. No, we mean we add, but we should have we put a certain limit somewhere. And of course, even if we do that, we have like 4 years ahead to see it's effective, or 3 years. Or if we are so fast, 2 years. Because we have a generation which we enrolled we cannot expel them. No, now you are performing poorly, go. Those are ours. Unless we think now, can we do? But actually, my intention that at least we put a certain circumstance in the future, we can always be having people who are very active, not disturbing much, even in training them, in teaching them or whatever. You have seen the government, the way it's coming up with some decisions, no ranking today, no exposing results, things like that one. If an institution is not careful and very creative enough, it's like an assassination of private schools. Because if people cannot see your results, what do you expect? How are they going to know your activeness? All those are the issues which we have to think. After I have said this, with those few remarks, I warmly welcome you all and officially declare this annual conference of school administrators open.